Hello everyone, this is Ninja Girl, Sakura here, back with another Yashahime Princess Half Demon review. This past weekend, we got Season 2, Episode 11, Battle on the New Moon, Part 2. And it was another pretty banger episode. There were a couple things that annoyed me, which I'll get into later on. But yeah, I overall enjoyed this episode, especially because it did mostly focus on Moroha. That's always a bonus and pleasure for me, because I adore her. You guys know that. I've said it enough. But yeah, good episode. Definitely enjoyed it, despite a couple things. But yeah, let's go over everything that happened, shall we? I guess the best way to do it is the way I've been doing it, which is character by character and what's been going on. So yeah, start with Moroha, move on to Setsuna, finally talk about Towa. So yeah. Now, as we knew with Moroha, she needed to get her bow and arrows back, and they needed to make their move on the night of the new moon that's going on, because that giant eyeball in the sky that would normally paralyze Moroha, and did before, was closed because of the new moon. So this was their best chance to get in there and attack, and stop the Shogun from basically taking over by having Takachiyo's little brother take his place as the clan leader. You know, he would be his little brother, Takachiyo's little brother would just be a figurehead. So yeah. And he's about to be made officially the Lord, remember? So, again, they're on a bit of a time crunch here. So yeah. But first thing is first, they gotta get back in to the clan's house, back on the island, and get her bow and arrows back. They're also still waiting on that letter from Sango and Moroku. So yeah. But to get back in, Moroha, Hachi, and Takachiyo come up with a pretty hilarious plan. So yeah. The Shogun, completely drunk, walks by his two guards that are, you know, standing at the front of the entrance. He's completely hammered and is like, oh, yeah, he's actually in a good mood. He's being kind of nice to them, and yeah, he's just completely hammered. I forget exactly what he said to them. It was hilarious. However, then another Shogun shows up with Moroha tied up, and I'm guessing... Now, I'm not sure of one thing about this. Obviously, the Shogun is Hachi in disguise, because remember, he can shapeshift. So could Shippo. And Takachiyo can do it too. And I'm not sure if the tied up Moroha is Takachiyo or actually Moroha just letting herself be dragged in so she can actually go inside. You know, and get her stuff back. I'm not sure if it is Takachiyo or actually her. I want to say it's actually her, and she's just playing along to get back in there and get her stuff. So yeah. But with Moroha tied up, Hachi in disguise goes up to the guards and is like, you haven't seen me pass by, have you? You realize that the one working with Takachiyo, that girl, and Hachi, they can shapeshift. You know that. Or, well, Hachi can shapeshift, so that must have been Hachi, the one working with Takachiyo. He must be the one who you just saw. Go after him. And Moroha even agrees. Is like, yeah, how dumb are you? You should definitely go after him. So, yeah, hilarious. And inside, the actual Shogun, who again is drunk, can't even focus, gets completely trampled and attacked. Because they think it's Hachi in disguise, when it's really, you know, the one with Moroha. But that gives her a chance to go in, go grab her bow and arrows. But when she's in the room, she also sees Takachiyo's little brother. His name escapes me. They say his name in the episode and I don't remember it. Inosuke? I think that's his name? I apologize if I'm wrong, but yes. She actually runs into him, and yeah, he explains that he feels bad about his brother's situation, just feels horrible about everything that's gone down, and wishes he could talk to Takachiyo. And just apologize for not being strong enough to stand up to the Shogun and say no. And Moroha's like, well, you still could, you know. And yeah. It's very sweet, actually. She just basically says, you still have time to fix this. So, yeah. But as they're about to leave the room, and of course Takachiyo's little brother isn't gonna cause trouble for Moroha. He knows that she means him no harm. So yeah. But as they're about to leave the room, the painting thing that the guardian full moon Tanuki spirit is in, the one that Kagome sealed, starts talking to Kinosuke and says, "Oh, you shouldn't listen to her. You know, she's wrong. Blah, blah, blah." You know, because the guardian spirit is still under the Shogun's control. So yeah. And it tries to paralyze Moroha again with the same power that eyeball thing has. But, lucky for them, lucky for Moroha especially, the bird they sent off to get the letter from Sangwa Moroku. I forget the name of him. I forget the bird's name, but, yeah. The bird they sent to get the letter comes in and knocks the painting over, which stops the paralyzing power. So how convenient. But yeah. Thankfully, Moroha's fine. It's stopped for now. And she does get a letter from Moroku. I'm kind of sad Sango didn't write her one too, but yeah. The letter doesn't explain much though. All it says is, "Oh, Lady Moroha, daughter of Inuyasha and Kagome, I hope you are well." Stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't seem helpful at all. But yeah. Then they are actually found by the Shogun, the real one. But, again, Moroha uses her cleverness and it's like, "Ha! How do you know that's not Hachi? Still, trying to fool you, you know." She's really playing it up, like, "Haha, who is who here?" No. Playing on their fears. So yeah. And the guards are, again, when the Shogun's like, "Well, what are you waiting for?" They're like, well, we've been fooled already. We don't want to be fooled again now." So they don't know what to do. And, yeah. Kinosuke, I really hope that's Takachiyo's little brother's name, runs off with Moroha. And, yeah. It was pretty good. And, yeah. Takachiyo and Hachi are actually out there finally revealing everything that the Shogun has done. All the money he has embezzled and taken away from the people, trying to rally them all up and get them to wake up and realize this guy should not be trusted. Do not listen to him. He has caused so much trouble for our clan. He's taxing you unjustly. We need to get rid of him. And they actually all agree and start to get behind them, which was pretty cool. So yeah. And when Kinosuke meets up with Takachiyo again, he does say, "I wish it was as tough as you and could be, you know, as forceful and, yeah, fierce as you at helping our people. I'm just not strong enough. I don't have a strong enough will to stand up to people the way you do." Basically. But yeah. Of course, Takachiyo's like, "Well, right now, we have other things to deal with. We'll talk about it later, kind of." And, yeah. They eventually go back underground to the cave where Kagome had sealed the giant raccoon Tanuki dog spirit thing first place. And they see, I guess, the true form of the guardian spirit. And it does look like a moon. So yeah. And then, of course, tries to stop Moroha and Takachiyo and everybody. But she decides that she can't seal it away. Moroha decides to take her bow and arrow and is like, "I know my mom was powerful. I know she sealed it away, but I can't do that. I'm not my mom. I am not my mother. But I can purify it." And she uses a sacred arrow to purify it, and it turns gray and kind of crumbles. So it looks like the guardian spirit's gone, but it's purified. She does at least purify it. We don't know if it's actually gone yet, though. So yeah. And then when they get back to the main surface, they are confronted by the Shogun, and, of course, a fight ensues. Moroha tries her Crimson Dragon Wave, but he, of course, tries to send it back at her. But that's what she was hoping for, and she uses her Crimson Backlash Wave. Send it back again. Although she controls the speed so that she has enough time to maybe figure out how to counter it, as she knows that he's going to use his reversal technique again. And she also asks Takachio to hold Sango Moroku's letter up so she can read it while she tries to do something. Because Moroku did put an illustration of himself with some kind of hand gesture. So that might be the key to how to fix this, how to stop it. So yeah. And at first, Takachio is a little bit afraid. But he eventually does agree when Moroha's like, Takachio, come on, you're the only one who can do this. So yeah. And he does. And as the Crimson Backlash Wave is being sent back at her by the Shogun, she's reading it and she's like, okay, like this. She doesn't have it right. And it's getting closer and closer. But in the nick of time, she does the reversal technique with the hand gesture and send it back at the Shogun. And he basically gets team rocketed away. And it's hilarious. But deserved because he was a jerk. So, yeah. He's finally gone. He's no longer with the clan. They are free. At least of him. But there is still the matter of who should be the Lord. And Moroha thinks it's gonna be Takachio, of course. He did all this for his people. He's probably gonna want to stay and, you know, take care of things. But, to even her surprise, he doesn't. He decides to leave the clan in the hands of Kinosuke, saying that he'd rather stay in the bounty hunting business. He's actually pretty happy there. So, yeah. And of course, Kinosuke's a little afraid, but Takachio encourages him and is like, you're gonna be fine, don't worry about it. I'm gonna stay a bounty hunter, I'm happy that way. And he actually, grateful for Moroha's help, he actually does pay her the 1 Ryo, I think that's what they called it, right? That she needed to pay off Jubei and be free of her debt. But, and this kind of bugged me, but I also kind of get it. But yeah, instead of taking the money, Moroha hands it back and is like, that's alright. I can handle owing this much, and you know what? I think I want to be a bounty hunter still too. Because it's what she's used to, it's what she knows, and she's actually pretty good at it. So, yeah, she decides she's going to stay a bounty hunter as well, and keep on working for Jubei. So, yeah. And, instead of course, just keeping the money, Takachio decides to give it to his little brother to share with the people to help make up for the money that the Shogun embezzled and taxed the people unfairly. And that is a pretty noble deed. So, there we go. And that solves the whole conflict with the Tanuki demons. They are free of the evil Shogun. And, oh yeah, even the spirits seem to have calmed down because we see the painting thing again and it's actually smiling. So the guardian spirit is actually, it is just purified. It wasn't actually destroyed like they thought it might be when he purified it. It's fine. So that's good. And yeah, Moroha and Takachio head off. And yeah, presumably they're going to be meeting up with Setsuna and Towa soon enough. But yeah, so that was a pretty good little episode with Moroha there. But now for Setsuna. And boy, do we get some funny stuff with this episode. So, like Setsuna knew, those snow demons were heading their way to come and attack her. And she gave plans to Hisui so that when they did show up, they would know what to do and how to handle the situation properly. And boy, did she really plan this out. Because, yeah, they show up. But Kohaku and the other demon slayers and Hisui, they're chilling out. They're like, okay, that's in a row. Oh, if the demon's this tall, pull this rope. And he does. And he is tossed out the side of the little hut they're staying in, the little house. And it's hilarious. And then he tries to come back in. And then it's sent right through the ceiling. Again, getting team rocketed away. Blasting off again. And it's hilarious. It's so hilarious. But of course, the little smaller snow demons that he had were also there and were going to attack. And Kohaku asks, what is Setsuna say to do in case of this happening? What do we do? And Hisui's like, oh, just use your, scythe and chain. So he does. That works out. It's just hilarious. And, Hisui also uses the Yedai codes for one of the attacks. And then, when the giant demon comes back, they set another trap. Arrows coming down. And he's like, haha, I'm not falling for that again. But, then he once again is sent outside. And it's just hilarious. All the Demon Slayers did their part in protecting Setsuna in the most hilarious and amazing ways. And of course, upstairs, Setsuna is asleep, unaware of all of this. Through all the noise, through all the chaos, through all the shattering wood and everything, she's still lying there asleep. It's hilarious. It's the most funny thing. I loved it. It was so dumb, but in the best way. So yeah. And eventually, morning comes. Snow demons are gone. Setsuna's back to her half-demon form. And yeah, everyone else is still awake. You know, having to have dealt with the snow demons the night before. They never went to bed. Setsuna's like, oh, did I cause too much trouble for this place? It's like, the Demon Slayers are like, nah, it's fine. Oh, bet you can protect us on the way home. You'll do that, won't you, Setsuna? And of course she agrees to do that. Because how would she say no after they protected her the whole night while she was still human? So, yeah. Hilarious. I loved that. It was great. Setsuna's portion of the episode was hilarious and just really, really good. Now the serious stuff. Towa. So, yeah. She is, of course, still captured with Zero and Nanahoshi. And they have this evil, what did they call it? Eternity bug? That Nanahoshi placed on Towa while she was still human. And they want her to really feel anger and hatred, and they want her to cry and just have all of her negative emotions come out. Because that's what the mini galaxy feeds on, and it releases a great fragrance, according to Nanahoshi. So, yeah. But Towa tries her best to resist, says she will not cry, she's screaming in pain, doesn't know what to do. And, yeah, during all this, we also get a scene of Sesshomaru in the Tree of Ages with Rin, who does have more silver scales on her, and it doesn't look good. And she even says, I want to see my children one last time, because she doesn't think she's going to make it. And she also senses that Towa is crying. Yeah, and it's pretty wild that Rin is actually awake inside of there now. So, wow. Hopefully they do get to see each other. But anyway, yeah, she can tell something is wrong. And Sesshomaru, as always, leaves without a word. But yeah, and Towa is trying so hard to resist this bug thing and not cry, not let her negative emotions get to her. The sun rises, that thing is still affecting her, and then she kind of finally gives in and says, I won't forgive you, yelling at Zero and Nanahoshi, and things do not look good for Towa right now. And that's where the episode leaves off. So, oh boy. Yeah, things are getting intense. And it seems like the girls are going to be coming back together very soon. So yeah. But I think that will do it for this review. It was overall pretty good. The main thing I didn't like was that they would keep Moroha still dead to Jubei and still be a bounty hunter. And I would think she'd want to be looking for her parents more. I guess she's going to do her best to do both. I should have figured that. And again, I know she's happy being a bounty hunter, I suppose. But I thought she really wanted to be free of that debt. But it's her decision. It's what they wrote for her to do. It's fine. I'll live with it. I want her to be happy, first and foremost. So, yeah. And if she's happy still being a bounty hunter for Jubei, so be it. And at least Takachiyo will be with her to help her out. So that's fine. I enjoy that. Except for, yeah, I enjoy that fact of it, at least. That part of it. That at least she will still be happy. But yeah, I kind of feel bad for Towa right now, because she is in very bad shape. But yeah, that will do it for this review. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like, share it around if you want. If you want to follow me on Twitter or support the channel on Patreon, both links will be in the video description below. And yeah, next week, we are in for a Towa-centered episode. It's gonna be an intense one. And if the preview is anything to go by, oh man, we're getting Demon Towa, and that is not going to be good. So yeah, and that episode is called A Place Not For... So, ooh, hopefully we'll get some good character development for her, at least. But yeah, she's gonna be going through some stuff. But yeah, until that episode airs, I'll see you guys later.